Hello, everybody. Today I'm talking about a very special and rare subject. It is called Surya Nath Nakshatra. And Surya Nath Nakshatras are the 8 nakshatras calculated from the sun, which are specially studied for the destiny of an individual. So, what is there? What karma is there? And these are usually fixed karmas. And I talked about this in my conference, The Fresh Talents of Vedic Astrology. This is my 10th conference that I was sponsoring recently, and I want to share with all of you. So let us explore. Hello, I'm Komilla Sutton, and we are talking nakshatras from the sun and destiny. Do remember to subscribe, press the bell notification. What about the Surya Nakshatra? So this is quite a special information. It is from Sarvota Bhadra Chakra. And there are 8 nakshatras from the sun that are specific points of destiny. And understanding them, working with them, and although these nakshatras are from the sun, we study them from the ascendant and the moon sign. And I did this lecture in my conference, the Fresh Talents of Jyotish conference that was happening January 23. And it's a fascinating subject, and I want to share with you. So please enjoy and also leave some comments underneath so that I can see what you make of it.
After all the wonderful presentations, I have to up my game a little bit. And I worked on my presentation and changed the color, made it a nice Jupiterian color. If you can see, I'm wearing red today for Surya. I've been wearing the colors of the week every day. And today I'm going to talk about sun nakshatras and destiny. So far, we have talked mostly about the nakshatras from the moon, other planets as well, but there are some specific nakshatras for the sun. And that is what we are talking. This photograph is of Lord Surya. And this is me at the Chidambaram temple in, it's a temple for the sky element, this beautiful temple. And so we start with the chanting. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakareshu Sarvada Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahman Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Om Adityaya Somaya Mangalaya Budhaya Cha Guru Shukra Shanibhyascha Rahuve Ketave Namaha Om Japa Kusum Sankasham Kashapeyam Mahadvitim Tamorim Sarva Papagnam Pranato Asmi Devakaram. So many of my photographs are taken from my temple trips and trips to India. And this is Sage Parashar. There's one temple there, they have the idol of Sage Parashar. I've visited it many times. And they allow us specifically, especially as astrologers, to photograph it. Otherwise, they don't allow photographs inside. but we ask for special permission. And so these are my books that are out just now. And of course, you've been hearing my students, and I have a live course that is starting on March 2023. So early birds and all are over. If you want to join, you can join level 2 if you have already done classes, but otherwise, um, it's live and it's long one. And just now, as I was waiting, I was informed that the BAVA conference is online. BAVA is the British Association of Vedic Astrology, for which I'm a founder. And the theme is Rahu Ketu this year. And it's on the weekends only. Over 9 classes are there, not as intense as here. And we have Sanjay Rath, Andrew Foss, Sarbani Rath, Vishti Lasan, myself, Vijay Goyal, Bill Sinclair, Vijaya Subramaniam, Rama Suprajama, Niranjan Babu, Keiko Kasanati, Paul Barker, Jeffrey Pierce, Gordon Brennan, E.K. Dilip Kumar, and Pandit Samavedula. So bava.org you can check out. And earlier this morning also I was telling you that if you are a member of bava, there you are there's a lot of recordings that we have by great masters, and you can buy them, get them, and if you want to plug in the holes. In Jyotish there's such a big knowledge that we need to plug in our holes. And the 11th conference is going to be a Vimshottari Dasha conference. So 12th to 15th of January 2024. And it's actually the sun is in Sagittarius. So that's a different sun this time. And Jupiter will be in Aries for the conference. And so it'll take a few months before I put it on, but you can just remember that. So today we are talking about the Surya Nakshatras and destiny. And this is a fascinating subject. Quite a few years ago, I was visiting Hyderabad, and somebody gifted me this book which had collected techniques in that. And one of the techniques written by a very respected Indian astrologer was about the sun nakshatras. I was so fascinated. I read it, I reread it, I researched it. And so I have spoken about this quite a few times, but so we usually study nakshatras from moon point of view as they are intrinsically connected to the moon. Yet the nakshatras are from the sun are equally important. These nakshatras are known as Surya Nath Nakshatra or Surya Nath Bindu. Surya is the soul, the Atma, and certain nakshatras from it reflect the fruits of the past life. These nakshatras can impact relationships with father, authority, career, identity, fame, self-image. And because these nakshatras that are highlighted from the sun, there's a fixed quality about these issues, like something that we have to work with, identify. Suryanaat Nakshatra show fixed karma, the one we cannot avoid. Karma, both good and bad, we have to experience in this lifetime. So one point about this is that a lot of people have spoken about it. And this morning, Lakshmi said something beautiful, we want to clear the darkness from us, like Gauri, who is dark and then she becomes fair, because it's not the beauty kind of it. It is that the tamas has gone from her. She has become pure and like light. So when whatever this thing is, our role is not to just accept it, but to think, okay, we want to work with it and we want to purify the karma. So while in Nadi Nakshatra, we study from moon's point of view and draw Navatara chart, understand different nakshatras like Nidana, Manasa, etc. From sun's point of view too, there are 8 nakshatras that are the key. This knowledge comes from the Sarvota Bhadra Chakra. 8 nakshatras from sun's point of view hold the key to understanding destiny. So this person, and I must remember his name, but I don't, who wrote that article on this subject, he said that when his father, who was also an astrologer, used to look at the chart, he would highlight these 8 nakshatras in the chart because that was some points of karma that were most important. So Phaladipika calls them upagrahas of the sun, different from upagrahas or shadows of the sun like Dhuma, etc. Those who have studied with me, you have studied the upagrahas from the moon, but not from the sun. One aspect of upagraha is that they can remain dormant and they do not always create obstacles unless they wake up the karmic tendencies. Dashas and transits can awaken the Suryanaat Nakshatras. However, there's a tendency to be influenced according to their house positions. But I think what is important to remember is that even though the upagrahas are remain dormant, when our lifestyle and behavior patterns become extreme, then they're more likely to wake up. That's why, they're always saying do something good and spiritual and work in the higher self, because this is the most important factor. So these nakshatras from the sun pinpoint the drid karma that can bring positive, negative events in the life of the individual. So drid karma is fixed karma, and they are intensities of karma. Karma comes in different intensities. Drid karma, adrid karma, drid karma. So drid karma is fixed with deep roots. Extremely difficult to change. This karma has to be experienced. And if we want to avoid its intensity, a lot of effort, sadhana, spiritual disciplines have to be undertaken in order to shift. This takes time, usually no guarantee that the karma can be purified, therefore avoided. That does not mean that we should not make the effort and purify our drid karma. So you see, there's this whole concept of what is the karmic baggage you've got. Some baggage is very heavy. That means that constant practice is done and it helps. Yesterday in Lalita's chart, when she talked about the inspirational charts, people who dealt with their karma, that was in the Manasa Nakshatra talk. That was really the thing that we have to look at, that even though sometimes they're drid karma, the gurus and all, they have that idea of how to deal with it, what to do. Adrid karma is not so deep-rooted, therefore possible to change through efforts and spiritual discipline. Changeable through remedies. They say that some karma, we do the remedy, we find instant reward. But certain, the deep-rooted, which are the drid karmas, the fixed karmas, they are not that easy to shift. And then the third one is adrid drid karma, which is partly fixed, partly changeable. This can be purified through constant effort, through deep-rooted issues, though deep-rooted issues take long time to sort out. My view is this, that we should not worry about is it fixed or not fixed. We should be trying to do our effort regularly, daily, not think that oh, I should do constant effort today and then forget about tomorrow. So do something and you see great results. So that is what is good. So these 8 nakshatras, they represent, and karma, in order to understand the 8 nakshatras and the karma they carry, we need to study the houses these nakshatras fall in. So this is something different from, it's not necessary that you have to have planets in them, because remember that transits can also take over that place. Each nakshatra will be in certain house in the chart. At times they can impact two houses too, if the nakshatra spans two houses. These houses should be studied from lagna or moon point of view, as they always be in the same house from the sun. So we are identifying these nakshatras from the sun, but we want to look at in our chart from the Lagna chart or the moon chart. And I have all the examples, you look at it. So these 8 nakshatras are called Surya Nath Bindus. Um, so the first of them is Vidyunmukha, which is the 5th nakshatra from the sun. Second is Shula, 8th from the sun. Sannipat, 14th. Ketu, 18th. Ketu is not the Ketu we study. Ulka, 21st. Kamp, 22nd. Vajra, 23rd. Nirdhat, 24th. So one of the things you are seeing here is that there is a string of 4 nakshatras, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th. This area of your chart can have quite a lot of karma that is needs to be worked at. So what does these bindus mean? So Vidyunmukha, it is the first Suryanaat Nakshatra. It occupies the 5th nakshatra from the nakshatra of the sun. Vidyu means opposite or in front. Mukha means in your face. Vidyunmukha means in front of the face, what you can see. So this is something, the Vidyunmukha nakshatra is something that is always in front of your face. It could be pleasant, it could be difficult, that we have to see from the chart. So there's, sometimes we can obsess about something all the time because it's right there. Sometimes we can understand so much divine information. So 5th nakshatra from the sun. This gives a person ability to understand and be intuitive regarding the house where this nakshatra is placed and what karma that needs to be expressed. If it spans 2 houses, then there is a ability to understand both. It could also make you feel these issues are always in front of you, hence cannot be avoided. So what happens with nakshatras? I think Petra today spoke about that there are nakshatras that are 3 padas, 2 padas, or completely in a house. So for example, Ashlesha is completely in Cancer, but Punarvasu has 3 padas in Gemini, only 1 pada in Cancer. So it's called a 3 pada. And Mrigasira, which is 2 padas, 2 in Gemini, 2 in Taurus. So this sometimes these nakshatras are spanning 2. Then the next one is called Shula. Shula is the second Surya Nath Nakshatra, and it occupies the 8th nakshatra from the nakshatra of the sun. Shula is sharp pointed weapon, spear or lance. It could hurt, pierce a person. Shula is connected to Trishul of Shiva, brings painful experience. But you see, if you are getting the Trishul of Shiva, you are actually maybe he's removing ignorance for you. But if we say averagely a person feels hurt or upset by that Shula nakshatra, so that is very important to understand. The pain here is suffered by the individual, while others, friends and family have no comprehension how it feels. In Sarvota Bhadra Chakra, the meaning of Shula is taken as internal worries. There will be worries about the house in which Shula Nakshatra is present. So you work out the house from the Lagna or the moon, and Shula can also be hurtful, possibility. Then Sannipath. Sannipath means delirium or repetition of thoughts over and over. It is the 14th nakshatra from the sun, opposite to the sun. Mind is restless, keeps repeating those thoughts. Uh, whichever house has the Sannipat nakshatra, that house causes maximum worry. It can create obsessions too. If it is in the 11th house, you may worry constantly about money and profit. So it's like, you're on a loop. You keep thinking about that thing again and again and again. So if you're thinking positively, it's good, but generally it's Sannipat is area where you are worrying about things. Then Ketu is the 4th Surya Nath Nakshatra Bindu. It's 18th from the nakshatra of the sun. Meaning of Ketu is a flag or a comet. It can rise you like a flag or drop you flat too. It can bring prestige, honor to the individual or spoil their name, reputation too, depending on the condition of the transits. Ulka is the 5th Suryanaat Nakshatra Bindu. It occupies 21st Nakshatra of the sun. Now you see 21, 22, 23, there are 4 nakshatras that come next to each other. Ulka is a meteor or a shooting star. When a meteor enters the atmosphere of the earth, it gets heated up due to friction of the atmosphere and it starts burning. While it's burning, it emits a light. The light remains for a very short time. Not everyone watching the falling meteors are lucky enough to see this special light. But Ulka has given importance to this special light. Sarvota Bhadra Chakra has given importance to this special light. When there is light in darkness of the night, a person is able to see his surroundings. When there is no light in the darkness, a person is not able to see their surroundings. There is confusion and helplessness. Also, I think Ulka, because it is like a shining star, but it's also burning. So there is some burning tendency in this aspect, and we can feel bitter or burnt also, depending on the quality. The house which this nakshatra is situated lights up during transits of benefic over this house. A person is able to see or understand his surroundings, whether it's favorable or unfavorable. During the transits of the malefic, there's darkness and fear. The person is not able to visualize, understand things around him, and does not know what to do to get the fruits of the house. Kamp is 6 Suryanaat Nakshatra Bindu. It occupies the 22nd nakshatra from that of the sun. Kamp means fear, shivering, trembling, trembling. It can mean an earthquake. There's always anxiety regarding the fruits of the house in which Kamp is placed. It's not camp, it's Kamp, like a Kamp is placed. Even a person getting good fruits regarding the house, he still worries. Kamp gives fear even if the house and its lord are well placed. Maybe if the lord is well placed, you could say it's a less worry. If the lord is strong and benefics are there, maybe there's less worry, but there is some aspect of anxiety about this nakshatra. Then Vajra. Vajra is the 7th Bindu, occupies the 23rd nakshatra from that of the sun. Vajra means adamant, hard, emotionless. A person may become emotionless, ruthless in getting the fruits of the house in which this nakshatra is placed. You can get Vajra as a warrior instrument. You're not afraid of any obstacles, worries that come in the way. Stands firm in any unfavorable situation like a rock, but they can be militant about it. They can fight their way, and they can be sort of ambition. If there's an ambition, they will do it. Then the last one is Nirdhat. Last Surya Nath Bindu, it occupies the 24th nakshatra from that of the sun. Nirdhat means determination, a strong or firm decision. No one can persuade him, her to change their decision in any manner. What they are fixed in that matter. Anything, Nirdhat means that they don't, they are determined. So determined can be determined good, determined negative. A person takes decision for getting the fruits of the house in which this bindu is placed. They are firm and inflexible, determined to get the fruits of that house in the manner they have decided. And no one can make them change their decision or break the determination. This is sort of something very interesting, because when people are fixed, sometimes you tell somebody, why don't you do this? They won't do it. And then you can be sweet, you can think, okay, that's how they are, and you can accept, but there's some sort of a determination and inflexibility that the Nidhat. And the negative thing is, if you're firm and inflexible about good things, it's good. But if you get involved in negative behavior patterns and negative things, then that is not so good. So then one of the things that is really important for all of you to understand is to understand what are the natural nakshatras. And what do I mean by natural nakshatras? I mean that what are the nakshatras that are being reflected from here? And if we take the number 1 nakshatra to be Ashwini, so that is where the sun is. And then we get number 5 nakshatra to be Mrigasira. This becomes the natural Vidyonmukha. That means in natural Vidyonmukha. Then the 8th nakshatra from Pushya is Shula. Is Pushya. So this is interesting. We just heard about Pushya, but here Pushya being the Shula, natural Shula nakshatra, that means Pushya has some ability to hurt us. And that is kind of very interesting factor here. And then the 14th nakshatra, which is opposite to the sun, is Sannipat. Sannipat, and Sannipat is what we obsess about. So that is natural Chitra Nakshatra. We had a lovely talk by Natalie on Chitra Nakshatra, and you can study that. But anything Chitra Nakshatra in your chart, and if you have some things, and then Ketu is Jyeshta Nakshatra. That is the 18th nakshatra from the sun. And then these 21, 22, 23, 24. These are the Ulka 21st. That is like that burning comet that is in creating a special light. Shravana Kam, Vajra, Dhanishta. It's interesting. Right now, Saturn is in Dhanishta Nakshatra. And for the last few years, we have had Saturn in Ulka, in Kamp, in Vajra, and it is going to go into Shatabhishak, which is Nirdhat. So, this has been a challenging situation for the world. And these are natural, some fixed karma that is coming. And Ketu went retrograde over these as well. So you can see here Shravana, Dhanishta, and Shatabhishak, which is the Nirdhat nakshatra. So these are just natural nakshatras for the chart. So now, just a reminder to you, Vidyunmukha is the 5th from the sun, Shula is the 8th, Sannipat is 14th, Ketu is 18th, Ulka is 21st, Kamp is 22nd, Vajra is 23rd, and Nirdhat is 24th. So the string of 4 nakshatras, Ulka to Nirdhat, this 53 degree 20 zone from the sun is very troubled. The houses that span these areas from Lagna and Moon can be the key to understand the nature of karma the individual struggles with. And just a reminder to you that we just had Saturn. He still has some work to do because he still has Shatabhishak to complete, but he has been crossing through the natural nakshatras. All these nakshatras are there, and we all know what we have dealt with in this time. And another point I was thinking that in Dhanishta is ruled by Mars also, natural Vajra Nakshatra, and there's been a lot of violence, especially in California where I'm living, unusual amount of violence recently. You can look at the world karma also, just looking at the natural nakshatras. The string of the 4 nakshatras from the sun, this is always 9th and 10th house. Therefore, cannot be taken as a point of view, but it's also reminding us the 9th house is house of dharma, 10th house is house of karma. So as individuals, we have to think about our dharma, doing the right thing. We have to think about our karma, and this is not the jobs we do, but our karma that we have inherited, that we are working to pay back the karma. We are working as, even your work that you do, you are not, giving your best to it. That's what we can say. So when we are doing the analysis of these nakshatras, what houses the special Surya Nath Nakshatra fall in, according to the qualities of this nakshatra, will be expressed. Study which planets fall in these nakshatras. According to their rulership, Karaka, also they will be affected. So it's not always that you get planets placed there. Study if any planets fall in the natural order of the nakshatras too. This is kind of really interesting factor. So this is Adam Levine's chart, and his birth date is 18th March 1979, 1524, Los Angeles, USA. He has been involved in a number of stories, but he's famous being a singer of Maroon 5, very innovative, creative person. And he is also known as, for, I think, Voice America, USA. Was a judge. He has left that just now. And we can see in his chart, there is some Drida karma there. And this is what you can see here is that Saturn, Rahu, Ketu, Mars in the Lagna. So you can see this is what we would call some Drir karma. So some issues that he is struggling with. And you see, being in a pop star lifestyle, we have to think that he is not necessarily being able to be fully spiritual. Do you understand what I mean? It's too many enablers, too much celebrity, fame, all those things that are there. But let us just explain to you how to find the nakshatras. So this is Sun is in Pisces, and this is Uttarabhadra Nakshatra. So Uttarabhadra Nakshatra, so you always count the nakshatra the sun is in, would be the number 1. So number 2 from Uttarabhadra is Revati, 3 is Ashwini, 4 is Bharani, and 5 is Kritika. So his Vidyunmukha nakshatra is Kritika. So Kritika falls 1 pada in the 9th house and 3 padas in the 10th house. So Adam Levine, super successful, and we are looking from the Lagna, and so 9th house, 1 pada, but 3 padas in the 10th house. So what is in front of his face is his career. And the second point is that from the moon, it is the 7th house. So his recent scandals, you can read up. I don't want to talk about them, but have been all about women other than his wife. But you see that moon is also very important. And if we take degree wise, moon is 3 degrees Scorpio, and opposite, you see the first pada to 0 to 320, second pada, sorry, the 3 padas of Kritika, they are all almost opposition, exact opposition to the moon. So you can see what is Vidyunmukha right in front of him is this thing. So I made a list of his nakshatras, and so we are making, and this is something, I don't think I was looking at the software. I don't think it's available. It's easy to make. It's not that difficult. But we see that Uttarabhadra, Sun and Mercury are the planets, but his son's nakshatra is Uttarabhadra. And 8th house it is, but doesn't matter. The Vidyunmukha falls in Kritika, which is 9th and 10th house. Shula, Ardhara, is falling in the 11th house. Now, 11th house is also the house of elder brother. Ardhara is totally in Gemini, so it's falling in the 11th house. So 11th house is elder brother. It can also be groups and people. It can be money, finances. So maybe he feels upset he's not earning enough or something. I don't know enough about him to see. Sannipat, Ashlesha is in the 12th house. So he could obsess about 12th house affairs. Now, there are many things about the 12th house. One is sexuality. Second is sleep. Third is losses. So that is something that he could, remember Sannipat is the loop that is thinking all the time about that thing. It's also spirituality. So somebody who on a more spiritual path can be working with this. Then now the 18th nakshatra uh, Ketu is Vishakha, and he has moon placed in the 18th nakshatra. And this is his in his 3rd house. So this is his moon is in Scorpio, in Vishakha, but I would say moon is okay, but Ketu is like a rising star. So suddenly, like a star, he can rise up. And Ketu is, oh, it's 4th house. Why did I put 3rd house here? Okay, I should change that. Yeah, I think Ketu is, sorry, Ketu is 3rd and 4th. Vishakha is, I put 3rd, but it's also the 4th house. So the Vishakha is 3 padas in 3rd and 1 pada in the 4th house. So 4th house could also be, popularity, and it can bring sudden uptick there. Then 21st, so these are the ones that I'm talking about, that is Ulka, Mula, 5th house. Kam, Purvashada, 5th house. Vajra, Uttarashada, 5th and 6th. And Nirdhat, Shravana, 6th house. So we see that the 5th house, which would be his creativity, higher mind, Ulka can give him that special light, which is as a musician, as a writer, that could be very good. Kamp can give, fear that his energy can die down. It could also be about children. He has children, couple of children. Vajra, I think Vajra, Uttarashada, mostly in the 6th house, only 1 pada in the 5th. So competition, he can be very fierce with competition, and 24th nakshatra also in the 6th house. So this determination against competition, and he has been hugely successful for many years. So then what I find very interesting is the natural nakshatras, because don't ignore the natural nakshatras for him. And here we see that in his Pushya is a Shula Nakshatra, natural Shula Nakshatra. He has Jupiter placed there. Chitra, he has Aruda Lagna. I wasn't thinking, but Sannipat. That means that loop, obsessive loop. He's obsessing about his image. You know, what is Aruda Lagna? Is your image what you show out to the world? And so that he is, that is something that he's thinking about, you know, how is he being perceived by other people? And then this was interesting to me that Venus is in Dhanishta Nakshatra, which is the natural Vajra Nakshatra. And of course, you know, right now, lot of his issues are regarding Venus, wife, women, and maybe that is a kind of harsh attitude what he is expressing. So if you look here, we see the Aruda Lagna is in Chitra. It's Aruda in the third house, but it's a Chitra. This is the natural Sannipat, you know, obsessive nakshatra. And then Venus, sixth house, anyway, that is also his Atma Karaka. So Venus being in the sixth house, but uh, sorry, I forgot where the Venus is. Venus is in Vajra. So competitiveness as well. And I would say that Jupiter and Shula, you see, Jupiter being in exalted in Cancer, I would say that is lessening the hurt, because Jupiter being in the 12th house, but it is in Pushya, that is the exaltation of Jupiter. And maybe the exaltation of Jupiter is not, it calms down that hurt, that helps you to deal with your hurt rather than create a bigger hurt than yourself. So you could look more into deeper into it, and I would love to hear back from you if somebody has you know, seen their chart and found something different in their chart. Then that would be, because there's very little research done on the Suryanaat Nakshatras. So it is really important to understand. So Adam Levine has planets in natural Suryanaat Nakshatra, Jupiter and Pushya and Shula. As Jupiter is exalted, its Sannipat nature may be tempered, dignity of not Sannipat, Shula nature, dignity of the planet may have ability to calm it down. So it's uh, but you know, the Jupiter is, I don't know enough about him. I should have done a little bit more research. Venus in Vajra, Dhanishta, natural Vajra, this you can see because he's in all kinds of trouble regarding Venus issues. And Aruda Lagna and Chitra and Sanipat, he could obsess about his image. So, so then Dasha can be studied if the Dasha and Bhukti Lord is placed in one of these special Surya Nakshatras. Check if they are the natural Surya Nath Nakshatra as well. So Adam Levine right now, you see 4th of August, this is, August is the middle. So 4th of August, he started Venus Dasha. And we can see that Venus is in Dhanishta Nakshatra, which is the natural Suryanaat Nakshatra. And all his issues and scandals started coming after that. So the start of Venus Dasha, we can see his Venus is in the 6th house. So it's Atma Karaka as well. So, you know, all those issues don't go away, but it's the natural Sanipat Nakshatra. So maybe if we are going into a Dasha where the Lord is placed there, you could also look at Dhanishta's ruler is Mars, but here, because Venus is placed in Dhanishta, you can look at that. And so right now he's in Venus. So that, I mean, suddenly that point of destiny has come. Maybe he was doing whatever he was doing all through Ketu. Another factor with Rahu and Ketu is they tend to keep things hidden. And then after Rahu comes Jupiter, who shows everything. And here, of course, Venus being in Dhanishta Nakshatra. And also Dhanishta, Saturn was transiting Dhanishta over his, actually it's stationed over 24 degrees 21 in November, Capricorn. So same time as he was already in Venus Dasha, Shani was transiting Dhanishta and then stopped there, stationed at that degree. So you see that is like a bigger karma than just Saturn going past Venus, but by stationing there, Venus Dasha is there, and you know, this is his natural Dhanishta's natural Vajra aspect. So then I've just put that Venus in natural Vajra of Dhanishta. Vajra means adamant, hard, emotionalness. Venus is Atma Karaka, significator of marriage and women. And it also rules the 10th house. One of the things Adam Levine has done is he has left the voice and he's doing his own thing. I mean, he's an artistic person. He will be, you know, fine, artistically find his way. But I would say if he was taking my advice, I would definitely encourage him to do something more spiritual, because with his really complicated, you know, this access here for him, and then Venus in Vajra, that some kind of bringing that light to him will be very useful for him as well. And then great importance has been given to the transit of planets through these nakshatras. So benefics will enhance, malefics will bring negativity. Malefic Veda by transit to these nakshatra cause great pain. So Veda is, I'm not really going into Veda, it's part of the Sarvota Bhadra Chakra. Yesterday, Andrew showed that. I personally have not used Veda at all, but it's something I also want to put in my practice a little bit more. But you can look at, sorry, so I have this page here, sorry. I created this page for Sarvota Bhadra Chakra. And so you could kind of look at Saturn. Where is Saturn here? So this is Ardhara. There's Saturn. So if you click on Saturn, you can see Saturn is doing Veda to Vishakha. He's doing Veda to Shravana, and he's doing Veda to Ashlesha. So right now, Vishakha, Shravana, and Ashlesha. So without knowing anything about Sarvota Bhadra Chakra, you can just click on Saturn and you can get this information. Here, I've got the words in Sanskrit. I've got moon here and 27 north and 1 chart. So this is the now chart that I've made. So the Veda is more complicated. I've studied Veda a lot, but I've not used it. So, you know, there's always something more that one can learn and use. So maybe we'll talk about Veda in detail in one of the lectures or something. So transit analysis, the natural quality of the planet. Benefic is benefic, malefic is malefic. Their temporary nature is ignored. If many negative transits come together, it creates a major crisis. So this is something to think about. And Phaldipika emphasizes Veda to these nakshatras. Veda is a technique used in Sarvotabhadra Chakra. It deals with special aspects, and Veda will not be covered today. I covered it a little bit, but so then I have another chart to show you. This is Michael Jackson's chart. And Michael Jackson's chart is very interesting to look at. So firstly, what you see is, let's just look at the sun. This is in Magha Nakshatra. So if we take Magha as 1, and then second nakshatra from Magha is Purva Phalguni, third is Uttara Phalguni, fourth is Hasta, and fifth is Chitra. So now what you can see here is that Chitra is a two-part nakshatra. Half is in Virgo, half is in Libra. What you can see, two of the biggest issues about Michael Jackson, Rahu is in, and Jupiter. Jupiter is his father, and Rahu, I would say, is Amatya Karaka. So on a positive level, Amatya Karaka would be career for him. On a negative level, Rahu means all the Rahu type of people around him. And Jupiter is Gnati Karaka. So he is thinking about his enemies. Certainly father was one of his enemies. And then Jupiter, Rahu, this is Guru Chandala Yoga, wrong gurus, wrong advisors, all in the Vidyunmukha, right in front of his face. His Surya chart is very interesting to analyze. I got both pop stars. I don't know why. I wasn't planning on choosing that. So let us look at his aspects here. So these are his nakshatras. So you can see Sun in Magha and all the various nakshatras here. But for Michael Jackson, we see his Sun's nakshatra, Sun Mercury is there. Vidyunmukha is Chitra, 8th and 9th house, but Rahu and Jupiter both in the 9th house, house of father. And for Aquarius Lagna, this is a Badhaka. So, you know, you have to have a lot of layers of information, of knowledge. So you see, 9th house is Badhaka. So all of you are studying with me, you have studied this already, but you haven't studied the Surya Nakshatras. So you see that Jupiter Rahu in Badhaka, this is also his Vidyunmukha. So he's thinking everything is a block to me. His career, his father, is the wrong advisors. It's in his front of his face. That is what is important. Sannipat, Dhanishta. And this is another very interesting factor for Michael Jackson. Sanipat is that obsessive behavior that you're thinking, and Dhanishta is 50-50 nakshatra, half in 12th house, half in the first house. And his moon in the first house is in Dhanishta. Sorry, it's not in Dhanishta, excuse me, it's Shatabhishak. Moon is not there. I don't know, I looked at it and I got the, but it doesn't really matter. So you see that 12th house, Sannipat is what he obsesses about. So what is he obsessing about is sleep. And first house is his self. So that aspect about his sleep, which is where he had all the wrong advisors and all the things, that Dhanishta falls in the 12th house. Then these houses, 21st to 24th nakshatra from the sun, Ulka, Mars, third house, siblings. He was again Kritika nakshatra, 1 pada and 3, and mostly in the 4th house. But third house is with his brothers, is Jackson 5. There was this sudden light, but also he is, it's his 10th lord. Mars is his 10th lord. And a Kamp is Rohini, 4th house, Vajra, Mrigasira, 4th and 5th house, and Nirdhat in the 5th house. And again, Aruda Lagna. You know, I wasn't going to use Aruda Lagna, but I had the chart up and I have Aruda Lagna. And you see both Adam Levine and as Michael Jackson. And Michael Jackson, again, you know, the Aruda, what is his image, his personality, his whole showmanship. He was a big showman, and he has this in the 5th house. And so determination, and I would say 5th house Vajra, determined about his creativity, but also, you know, about the children, because people advised him, don't do it, but he was adamant about it, that he's not doing anything wrong. He got into trouble for it. And you see that 5th house Vajra. Then, as I told you, that here we have the analysis, Vidyunmukha, 8th and 9th house. Rahu, Jupiter's placed there. His 2 issues in his face were his father, doctors, or wrong type of advisors that he embraced. Shula, 10th house, no planet is there, may have felt his career was hurting him or destroying him. Let's just look at Shula is Anuradha. So that is in his 10th house. Scorpio is in his 10th house. Sannipat, 12th and 1st house, it links the house of self to the house of loss, but more importantly connects the house of sleep to self. He, obsessed about his inability to sleep, finally died of propofol overdose. It's very sad that these celebrity singers, because this was the same problem with Elvis Presley, was they were drugging him to go to sleep. Because you see, after you finish your show, you're hyped up. And so you need time to calm down. But if you have a show next day, it's almost like a hype after that. So you see this Sanipat Ketu in the 2nd house of voice, he was famous for it. Ketu shot him to the top like a flag. So he doesn't have a planet there. Ketu is there's the sun. Ulka, 3rd house, Michael Jackson has his 10th Lord Mars placed in Ulka. The shooting star gave him meteoric rise in his career. Also, it is the 3rd house of brothers. It was with Jackson 5 that he first became famous. Mars, being a malefic planet, may not have allowed him to see the special light he emanated, feeling only darkness and despair. But I think also, you know, this Ulka light that was, he rose like a shooting star and then he fell like that as well. You know, there's both sides of the equation are there. 10th house has Shula Nakshatra, 10th lord is in Ulka, both representing obstacles. Ulka, Kamp, Vajra, all 3 are in the 4th house of Sukha. Lack of contentment, Sukha made him extremely unhappy. His relationship was good, but maybe she was helpless to support him or unable to do so. So you see those fear, anxiety, especially Kamp is the one you are always worrying that I'm not going to be happy. I'm not going to get the happiness. Vajra in the 5th, relentless pursuit of his creativity, later in having children who followed his eccentric modes. Nidhat in the 5th, issues with children, his relationship dogged him for life, but he determinedly carried on. Not listening to others, some of the determination may have come into his creativity, made him powerful too. So, so finally, looking at the natural nakshatras. So the natural nakshatras, we can see here again, which I spoke about. Now here we see something interesting is that in Jyeshta nakshatra, which is Ketu, he has Saturn placed there. And Saturn is his Lagna Lord, and Ketu is like a comet. So he became so famous. He's Aquarius Lagna, Aquarius Moon. And then ascendant is Shatabhishak, and that is his Nirdhat Nakshatra. So very determined about these things. And again, from this position, we can see Uttarashada, Shravana, Dhanishta. These are all in his 12th house, Ulka, Kamp, Vajra. So 12th house issues very prominent even with the natural nakshatras. So natural Nirdhat is the ascendant, firm, inflexible, determined to be successful. But, you know, anything determination can work negatively too. So that is it. I think I put my photo here as thanks to all of you. This is a Surya temple. It's actually a temple for Lord Rama. And I just want to do the Gayatri mantra as we are ending the class and also ending the conference. So, Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm open to questions. One sec, let me stop share and let me answer if there are any question. Gayatri said, I'm just looking at this. I've got the old questions. So lots of you, thank you. Please give me feedback also. You can email me. Anil said 8 natural nakshatras from the sun will be same for everybody, but the houses will be different. You see, the thing about the natural nakshatras is we should not ignore them. And especially if they come in a specific area and you have planets in them. You know, most of us won't have planets, so nothing is happening. But if they are in a specific area, so that is there. And so it's all thanks everybody. And Padma said the Sarvota Bhajran Sun Nakshatras, learned a lot. Thank you, Padma. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Edwin. Thank you, Athia. And so I think there's lots of thanks, and I really, Gayatri said, thank you for this fascinating look at nakshatras from the sun. Amazing conference. So actually the conference is only there because of you guys. So I greatly appreciate all your participation, support, enthusiasm, and all the speakers who have done such a great job. And, you know, my mom always says to me that a teacher's only great if their students are good. So I can see that I have some very good students. So I feel very happy about that because you have been wonderful. So much appreciated. And I have to say, I don't want to say bye-bye, but I have to say bye-bye. Om Shanti. And as you don't have to travel anyway, you can just have some rest. Give your mind a rest.